I don't want to do music videos that are, here's just a music video because we need one. Like, oh, we have a single, we need a video. Okay. I want to build a piece of art. Like, I'm an artist. Yeah. Like, I'm obsessive with making things.
Whether you're behind the camera or not.
Yeah. No, I love making art.
Hello and welcome back to the Full Frame podcast presented by Sony. Colin, in with you today.
Yes, Clyde, thanks for having me. Thank you.
That's all right. Thanks for making the trip.
I like that you kind of looked. Do I need to look somewhere?
You can just look at me.
Okay, I want to look at you.
Like right here. This is the money maker.
That's it.
For those people who listen and don't necessarily know you, hopefully they've seen you at Scenescape and seen your work otherwise. Right. But do you want to just do a brief introduction about who you are, what you do, and a little bit of a rundown on Ten of Swords?
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, I am Colin Jeffs. My name is Colin Jeffs. And I run, I would say, a small to medium-sized music video production company. It's not just music videos, but I would like to think that when people think about Ten of Swords, which is our little brand, we got the brand new t-shirts.
Yeah, you want to shout out the merch?
Yeah, we got the merch. You can actually buy merch. I'm selling merch. So it's going really well too. But yeah, I would like to think that when people think of Ten of Swords, they probably think of my music video work. We do all sorts of different shooting and all sorts of different styles. We have like bigger corporate clients and things like that. But I think that the music video stuff that we do is core to, what people probably think about when they visualize the Ten of Swords thing.
Yeah, when you talk music video, like I love your work, but for people that haven't seen it, like how would you describe the style of the music videos that you produce?
Visceral.
Visceral.
Yeah, I guess we do a lot of work in the alternative music space. So I think a lot of people probably think that we just do like heavy metal and punk and stuff like that, but we don't. We actually have a lot of like solo, kind of male, solo, female, a lot of folky stuff. Some of our biggest customers are, kind of like, I want to say more like pop artists. Yeah. But I think that a lot of the work that I post on my socials is probably like the more alternative kind of stuff because that's sort of what I love.
Yeah.
So I just instinctively want to post things that, I love and that I gravitate to.
Yeah.
So,
and your visuals have such a, like, it's very iconic in the sense that I could watch any of your music videos and like pick it from a crowd and be like, oh, Colin did this.
Yeah.
And I really like that because it's like such an attention to detail. There's like a lot of world building.
Right.
Yeah. And that was like what we talked about a lot at Kando is like, you're not just filming an artist, but you were like showing me how you built the sets and like everything. Yeah.
And I think, that's definitely important for me. And I think I talk about that a lot on socials and I talk about that a lot to artists that I think, these days it's kind of not enough to just have a music video because we need a music video.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, it's a branding thing. Like a lot of like what we are doing is building brands for the artists that we're working with and building branding and as you said, iconic visuals around them. So I think when people think about those artists, they have that front of mind. They're sort of like, oh, this band that was in a spaceship and went into outer space or, this band that was in like a burning building or, this band that was, doing this kind of thing. And that sort of branding kind of like trickles into their releases as well.
Yeah. Because you see it more and more now with music videos that actually have tie-ins across an album.
Yeah.
Or like there's actually a narrative or like a larger story at play across multiple videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's exciting. Like an artist that we work with recently, we did, I think, 3 or 4 music videos for them that all had like a tie-in narratively, or at least thematically. But then for their record, they did like a vinyl print. They did merch and obviously their CD inlay, their physical copies.
Yeah.
And they used all cutouts from the music video to like build all of the vinyl layout.
That's
and like
cool.
The merchandise. So the music videos, they didn't end up just being like, oh, hey, here's something for YouTube. But they kind of, extended to the physical media that they sold. They extended to the merch. And I think that it really has created like a really iconic look for that artist.
Yeah.
That it's all branded around these themes that we built. And that stuff for me is exciting because it transcends just being a music video for YouTube and ends up being more of a piece of art.
Is it more fulfilling as a producer and shooter as well? Because you're building something as that's like a bigger package than just like, oh, here's a video.
Yeah, definitely. Like I sort of don't want to I don't want to do music videos that are, here's just a music video because we need one. Like, oh, we have a single, we need a video. Okay. I want to build a piece of art. Like I'm an artist, and it doesn't matter whether I'm shooting video, it doesn't matter whether I'm painting, if I'm sculpting, if I'm making something with my hands. Like I do all sorts of art. And
do you enjoy like just tying it back into like how you build a lot of the sets, and is that you love getting practical and doing that stuff yourself?
Yeah, like I'm obsessive with making things.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter if it's
whether you're behind the camera or not.
Yeah, no, I love making art. So I think first and foremost, I'm an artist, and I've kind of just landed in the video camera space from a long list of artistic things that I've done with my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're here now, and I'm gonna make the best art that I possibly can inside of this space and inside of this medium.
That's cool. It's very cool. How would you describe like the style of Ten of Swords and your own work? Like you said, visceral.
Yeah.
Because like one thing that I already learned from you is like how often you crank the shutter. So for people that don't know what cranking the shutter is, it's like, shooting faster than the 180 rule. I know we talked about that last week with Sean.
Flack for this.
No, I really like it because it adds so much like texture and almost like energy to the scenes that you're shooting, especially like the faster paced stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely with like things like that, Ten of Swords breaks a lot of, if not all, rules of cinematography, or at least camera settings. 180 degree rule is definitely a rule that I break forever. But yeah, it's not because I want to like break rules just for the sake of breaking rules. It's because I've probably at this point shot over 400 music videos, and I have learnt what I like, and I've learnt what works. So there's a lot of trial and error in like the process of like how we shoot, and I've tried a lot of different things to varying degrees of success. But it really is. I've just developed my own style from my influences. So, I'm influenced by all sorts of different media, all sorts of different mediums. And yeah, I would like to think that I am the sum of my influences when it comes to, breaking rules or, making my own rules for my style.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think talking about like the style, like it is visceral, it's aggressive. It's messy, I think, is something that I'm always chasing in my work. I want things to be messy, and that is kind of like a trickle down from like my other artistic influences, my other, mediums that I've kind of practiced with. Is my art has always been messy.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's just because of my head or like how I think about it, or what I'm influenced by or what I consume.
Yeah.
But my art is messy. And that is definitely part of like my Ten of Swords world. So yeah, usually if artists are looking for something really clean, they probably wouldn't hire me. And sometimes, that's a conversation that I have with my clients. Like sometimes clients come through and they say, hey, listen, we like this, this, and this. And I'm like, have you seen my back catalog? Have you been in my Vimeo? Because, I can make a version of this, but it is definitely going to be closer to what we do.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even with your editing, like it's very fast paced. There's a lot of energy. It obviously depends on the project, but some of like the stuff that you've shown me or like the stuff that you share, like it's lots of Dutch tilt, like heaps of fast camera movement. Like it's really fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like it's really fun and engaging. And like obviously that's reflective of the genre.
Right.
But I just find it so interesting. Like how do you even go about shooting that? Like, when I think of like music video, I think, all right, well, you want these different angles. You're going to shoot a full run through of every angle, and then you can just cut it together later.
Right.
And that's like the most basic and dumbed down way that you could do it.
Right. Yeah.
But like, what is the strategy? How do you go into this?
I think the way that I think about music and the way that I think about visuals, and it doesn't even have to be shooting music videos, it can be kind of anything that I shoot, is I think about everything as like rhythm and flow. I think about everything as movement, and everything is like reactive to something.
Yeah.
So with music in particular, my camera is always going to be reacting to my artist. So if my artist is dancing, my camera is dancing. If my artist is moving a particular way, my camera is reactive to that. So it's moving with their rhythm. So my artist's energy, or what I am filming, the energy of what that is, kind of dictates my camera's movement. And that's kind of how I have come to think about things, and that's how I've come to edit things. So when I'm shooting, I know that like how my camera is maybe reacting to this particular scene or this particular movement, that rhythm is going to carry into the next shot and then the shot after that. And you end up creating this rhythm and flow throughout the whole piece. And I think that that's what makes a lot of the pieces really fun to watch, because they flow into one another, they react to one another, and they all dance and move together. And I think that for me, those are the music videos that I like watching from when I was young. And yeah, I think that it just works with the style, as you mentioned, but also it doesn't necessarily need to be just with like heavy music. Like your camera can be reactive to you know, if we're filming like a female acoustic artist or something like that that's quite soft-spoken, it can still be reactive, but it's reactive inside of that space.
Inside of the context.
Yeah. So yeah, sure, if you're filming like a really energetic punk band that's like jumping off a speaker, that's probably going to be pretty crazy, because that's a pretty crazy environment.
Yeah.
Like a punk artist jumping off a speaker is pretty crazy. So the camera's probably going to be pretty crazy with that. However, if you're filming you know, something that's really nice and slow and you know,
more sculpted,
dreamy, your camera's still going to be reactive to that, but it's going to be in the context. So that's I think about that with everything that I do. Like we filmed a lifestyle film the other day that wasn't music related at all, but the camera was still reactive to. We had some women doing yoga on the beach. We had like some surfing, all in like slow motion and stuff. Like we had the waves rolling in. We had water washing up on the sands. It's still.
Did you find a track for that before you shot it, or after?
No, before.
Yeah.
So before. So the
hot tip.
The music gets approved for those sort of things. The music gets approved before we go into it, which is a good thing, because you can kind of be running that. Internally,
almost like
in your
template.
Head, you can be thinking about it and be like, I know, like we're not filming this lifestyle film to a heavy metal song, so if we were, it'd probably be a lot different. Might be cool, but
yeah. How much of that goes in with the previs stuff when you start first like mapping out what a video could look like? Like, are your clients coming to you with a full brief where they're like, hey, this is the narrative we want, this is, are you working in tandem with an artist to build that together?
Yeah. So there's different ways that this happens. So we have a pricing structure that we send out to artists. So say, for example, if an artist was to email me and say, hey, we love your work, we want to do a music video with you.
Yeah.
Cool. So to get an understanding of what they want, I usually get the track, I have listened to it, see that I vibe with it, because if I don't vibe with it, then there's not really any further conversation. If I don't like the song, or if the song doesn't speak to me, I should say, is probably more diplomatic. Then there's kind of really nothing there, because we've sort of like reached a point now where I don't really need to be doing songs that don't speak to me in that way.
Yeah.
And also, I don't want to take someone's money and deliver them something subpar. So I would prefer that they take their music to someone that connects with it, so that they can get the best product, because I want to produce the best product as well. That's how this whole business works. Like if I'm putting out music videos that aren't good, or product that isn't good, people are not going to book me. So I want to make the best work as well. So I'll catch a vibe for their song. You know, I like that. Then we will usually jump on a call and we'll talk about what they like. We'll talk about things that they've seen that they like, things that they're influenced by. We'll talk about what the song's about. And then we kind of find what package they want to go for.
Yeah, okay.
So, for example, there could just be like they could just say, listen, we're a little bit strapped. We're an independent artist. We don't have label backing. So all we can really afford to do is a slick performance music video.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine as well. But then we'll find ways to make that interesting.
Yeah.
It's like, how are we going to make a slick performance music video interesting? If it goes to a place where it's like, we want narrative or we want B-roll, then we sort of talk about that. And then, you know, some of the bigger artists that have got more budget, we can do these big narratives like multiple day shoots.
Yeah. What's the kind of split like? Because I can understand that you get some clients that come to you with, we don't know what we want. Can you do everything?
Yes.
Like come up, you know, you're doing full pre-production, you're writing a script or at least like a shot list and you're building the actual full package. Or at the other end where this is the story, we want this and this and this, and then you work in with what they already have kind of built, like from a creative side.
Yeah. So we take all types.
Okay.
So, and some artists are like that and they're like, this is what we want. We are super strict on this.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. If I vibe with the idea, I will pretty much, like you said, I will write the shot list. I'll write like our hero shots, our key moments. I'm like, these are the absolutes that we need to make this kind of narrative or this story make sense.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I'll do up a budget. I'll do all the production. Some artists won't pay me to do that though. So they'll kind of go, we will do all of the production ourselves. And artists are pretty resourceful as well because they are artists and they do know their music. So some bands will say, hey, listen, we've got all of these props, we've got these actors, we've sourced this location, we've got our own stylist, we've got outfits,
Yeah, calling in as many favors as you can.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to, depending on what sort of budget you have or like what sort of money you're coming in with, you might have to do the work. But if you've got a big label that is kind of like, here's your release budget, there's X amount of money that we've allocated to maybe marketing and a portion of that falls into the music video stuff, they might just kind of say, hey, here's our idea, bring this to life. And then I'll go, okay, cool. And I, you know, charge a service for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we take all types. Like I want to say the majority of artists don't come in like that. But probably a year we will do like 3 or 4 pretty big production music videos.
Yeah.
That will be expensive ones. And, you know, they're always exciting because you've got budget to, you know, do crazy stuff and get, you know, you might hire a helicopter or like a tank or like you might blow up a car or, you know, you'll have the budget to be able to do that. Most artists...
You should talk us through some of the cool ones you've done.
Some of the cool ones?
Yeah, I'd love to hear more. You mentioned a tank.
We did one recently, not super recently, maybe 6 months ago for, I'll plug them, an artist called Wind Waker. They're an Australian band. They're doing really well. I would say they are a bigger band. They're a headlining band doing maybe 1,000 people a night. So for me, I consider that a reasonably big artist if you're doing those size rooms. And I'll talk you through kind of like how it came about, right? The band came to me and they had the song and they sort of said, hey, like this is the song. It was a little bit hip hop. It was a little bit metal. It was a little bit pop. It was like genre.
Fusion.
Yeah, genre blending. So it was super fun. They had like a couple of ideas, but like not much. And they were like, what do you want to do? This is kind of the budget that we have. Do you have any cool ideas?
Yeah.
And the song just kind of hit me. It just tickled my brain in like a particular way. And I was like, do you guys want to get like a helicopter and like an airbase and maybe like some military vehicles? And we'll do like something super like outlandish. We'll like land the helicopter and the band can like jump out of the helicopter and then sort of start performing and, you know, this kind of stuff. And they were just like, yes, we want to do that.
Yeah, okay.
So, you know, then it becomes a bit of a juggle like, okay, I've kind of made this call.
I've made a promise.
How are we going to like get these things? So definitely on my part as well, there's, you know, favors that get called in because even with like a bigger budget, typically bands these days aren't spending $100,000 on a music video because they just don't get the return from YouTube. They don't get the return for it.
Yeah.
So we're always going to find ways to make these things work. And like, I'm excited as well. I want to film it because that's super fun.
Yeah.
So,
do you find that you have to keep pushing the envelope? Because I feel like if you're filming like TV, anything else that's narrative, like it's so dictated by what the producer and writer have already built in. Whereas like someone like you who has a lot of creative direction and scope, it's like if people come to you and you're like, I just have to cook up an idea out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like you have to constantly keep trying to push it? You're like, oh, you know, well, we did an explosion last time. Now let's burn a car. Like, or, you know, how do you manage that where like the world is your oyster almost? Because like you've got to keep coming up with something that fits the style and the narrative and the band's aesthetic.
Yeah.
But then also you're like, well, I want to do something cool. Like, how do you manage that without just like going too crazy, going too big?
I think there's an amount of that comes into kind of like what you mentioned earlier, where Ten of Swords has a bit of its own style that it's kind of over the years has, you know, that's sort of crafted and that has become a little bit iconic in the visuals it produce.
Yeah.
Sometimes when bands come through and they say, hey, we've got a little bit of money and we love what you do, how do you see this going? For whatever reason, if I hear a song and it just tickles my brain the right way, I can just see vision and I just get vibes. This particular song was called Victory Lap.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, Victory Lap, you're thinking of a car already. So we want to have that in. And I was like, what if you were doing a Victory Lap in like a tank or like a troop carrier or like a helicopter? It gives me vehicle vibes already.
Yeah, but it's not just the direct correlation like, oh, car.
Yeah. So I was kind of like, how can we like extrapolate that Victory Lap visual to be as ridiculous as possible?
Yeah.
Because the song had some hip hop vibes, even though they're more of a metal band, I was like, let's lean into like more of a hip hop aesthetic. So you end up like blending all of these genres together to create something new and fresh that maybe you haven't done before, or that's like a little bit different for the genre, because it doesn't look like a heavy metal music video. When you think of a heavy metal band, you probably think a particular, you know, aesthetic. This looks like more of a hip hop style clip.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's just finding the right music that tickles your brain the right way, and then having budget and enough ideas and enough resources to. Yeah. It's different every time.
What's the crew size looking like for most of these kind of shoots? Small.
We have a small crew.
Yeah.
So for most music videos, like if your band hit me up and we're just like, we just want to do a one room basic, you know, music video performance, that would probably be me and an assistant. And we would
so
do
you're gaffing and everything, doing previs, production, producing, gaffing, and shooting with an assistant.
Yeah. So
that's nuts.
The way that I learnt early on to like make money doing this is, if I keep my crew size small, I don't have to pay, you know,
you got less outgoings.
10 people on set. So for example, you know, if a band comes to me and they say, we have $10,000 to make a cool music video, I go, okay, cool. So I know what my fee is. I know what I want to be paid. And then on top of that, I know what a venue is going to cost, right? So if I then go, oh, well, I'm going to hire a gaffer, I'm going to hire a stylist, I'm going to hire an art director, I'm going to hire a set builder. 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 gone.
Yeah.
So do you sort of see where I'm going? Like if you want to make the money work for you so that you can do this regularly, hiring an enormous crew.
Yeah, it eats into that.
Like back in the day when, you know, a band would get $1 million for a music video, awesome. Yeah. Like sick. Let's hire everyone. Let's hire everyone and make like a movie. It's not like that anymore because of like the prosumer, you know, level of, you know, cameras. These cameras that we shoot on are all so good, and most people can afford a camera that is going to shoot really, really good video. Yeah. You could buy probably the cheapest Sony camera right now, and chances are it's going to shoot 4K beautiful video. Yeah. So like, do you know what I'm saying? Like if you want to make money, you need to learn how to cut your outgoings. And for me, I was just like, I'm going to learn.
Yeah, but that makes you a better operator in general, because then you sharpen the tools for so many other roles.
Yeah. And I mean, I also, like, I'm a nerd, so I love things. I love gear.
Just things.
Things in general. I love gear. So, I want to learn gear. I want to, I own all the lighting. So any of the lighting that you've seen in any of the music videos we produced, I own all that. I bought all that lighting. It was expensive, but I sort of paid it off over time.
That's my biggest regret, is not learning lighting and buying lighting earlier.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed with the cameras and lenses and all the other little knickknacks and accessories when I was like, damn, I should have just bought a couple of really good lights.
Yeah. And someone said that to me early in the piece when I was kind of getting into it. They were like, don't worry so much about your cameras and your lenses. They were like, the thing that will change your image the most is lighting.
Yeah, that's what Elder's been telling me for years.
Yeah, that was a great source of information because he knows.
Yeah. Every time I'm on set with him, I learn like 15 things, and I'm like, I'm trying to help and be an assistant, but I'm like,
yeah, he's such a wealth of knowledge. He was a big influence of mine when I was coming up, and he was really generous with his time with me as well when I kind of started doing this, because I've been shooting music videos now for 9 years.
9 years.
Yeah, 9 years full time.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was like a lot of those dudes early that were really generous with their time with me, and
and it's important. Like him for me, just like passing on so much information.
Yeah. But I'd like to think now these days I'm kind of like that with a lot of younger dudes that are coming through now that hit me up for advice on lighting, cameras, gear, equipment, all those.
Yeah, well,
kind
your
of
session
things.
at Scenescape was packed.
Yeah, it kind of went off. That was sick. I think like if you just give people cameras and say, hey, there's a drum kit over there. Drums are fun to film.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of likes filming drums. Actually, I think it conflicted with the 27 Projects podcast.
It did a little bit. I didn't bring it up for that reason though. But yeah, it was really cool watching you shoot. And I think like I love running workshops where people can get cameras in their hands and they can shoot for themselves.
Right.
But when there's someone like yourself that has been doing it for so long, it's almost better to sit back and just like actually watch how you do it. Like you learn so much more from watching someone who, lives and breathes it. Like just watching you like moving with the drummer. You were on the FX6, so it was sick. But like just like the way you were holding it, the way you were moving with the rhythm of the actual song itself, like just watching it was really cool.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you. And I mean, they're all things that I've learned from watching other people and going on set with other people early.
Yeah.
I remember one of the first people that ever let me come on set was a guy, Ed Reese. I don't know if you know this dude. He used to shoot a lot of music videos. He's brilliant. And he hit me up. Yeah, dude, it would be like 9 years ago.
Yeah, wow.
And was like, hey, do you want to come on set and help out with this? And I drove down from the Gold Coast to like Newcastle just because I was so excited to be on set. We were shooting in this like burnt out old factory.
Yeah.
And watching him was just like, it was a big inspiration for me. And I was like, this is a thing. Like this is a job. Like it's not a common job, but this is a service that people need. They are willing to pay for, and it's just watching those guys, Elder being another one. There was a few other dudes that I didn't get to work on set with, but I'm just talking with them online. They were huge inspirations.
Yeah.
And I guess I've taken like a lot of that advice, and like I said earlier, I've become like the sum of the influences that I had when I was really wanting to get into this.
Yeah.
And sort of like just taking like little bits and pieces. For example, like with Elder, he comes from like more of a working on like big sets, and like everyone has their role, and I know he's doing gaffing and things like that now. Like I don't love that, so I let him keep that, and I'm like, that doesn't work for my workflow, and it doesn't work for my creative sensibilities. So having a lot of roles on set, and spending like big money to like hire all these people, I don't get access to those artists that have that sort of budget. So I need to figure out how to make a product that is as good as that with less.
Yeah.
And that is something that I've become very proficient
that's also another skill.
Yeah. That is definitely something over the years that I've become very proficient in, is making the best product possible with what we have on the day.
Yeah.
And I'll never be dark about, what we have. Like I've shot music videos in bedrooms. Like I've shot music videos in like tiny little spaces, shipping containers with nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can I make this interesting for 3 minutes? And it's an exercise. It's hard.
Yeah. You think about, like trending reels and stuff where you need to captivate someone for 15 seconds.
Yep.
That is significantly easier than keeping someone engaged for a full 3 minutes, especially without narrative.
Yep.
Like if it was a performance piece.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
All of your hooks have to go at the start, and then if they're not a fan of the music, they won't stay.
Yeah.
So like if, all of your hook and everything, you've got to grab attention immediately and kind of be like, hey, this is the aesthetic, this is the band, this is what we're doing. But if they're not a fan of the song after 30 seconds,
you probably lost them.
Yeah, like unless you're doing something wild.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's it is definitely it's an exercise trying to keep modern audiences for longer than 15 seconds.
Yeah, okay. Do you find that like the music video as a format has changed a lot? Because like traditionally, 3 to 5 minutes or like however long the track is, you got your standard, 16 by 9. Are you thinking about social cuts now? Are you thinking about Spotify banners? Are you thinking about this stuff? Like how has that changed?
So yeah, it's interesting you brought this up because like this year and even like half of last year, I was kind of like talking to artists when artists were booking me and they're like, we want to do a music video. I'm always kind of saying, hey, all right, sweet. If you want to do a music video, like a lot of artists come through and they'll book like packages. So they'll kind of go, I'll give you an example. We just got off the phone recently last night with a manager from a band that has a record coming out. They're in their pre-production stages. And he says, we are going to do 3 music videos for this record. Okay.
Sweet.
And I was like, awesome. He's like, we want to do one slick performance music video. That's going to go out first. We need that. That did really well last time. We want to do a big narrative piece that does world building and is a bit more of a spectacle. We've got a bit more budget for that one. So we can do actors, art department, makeup. Cool. And then we need something else. And I was like, okay, hear me out. I was like, if this is what you've got budget for from your label, you are better off doing your 2 music videos. Sure, we do those for YouTube. We know we need those for the 2 lead singles. For the third one, instead of doing a music video, what you're probably better off doing is a full day of content where you film short form, vertical, cinematic content for every song from the record.
Yeah. So you can just rinse that whole record and post really consistently.
Yeah. Because what happens otherwise, if you blow your budget on 3 music videos, you got 3 really good visuals, you can cut those down for reels, sure. But you might have 5 or 6 other songs from the record that are never going to get the chance to maybe become someone's favorite song. Yeah. Because you're not going to be able to post visuals for them on your socials. You're not going to be able to market them to an audience. You're not going to be able to run ads, A/B test ads, see what's trending, see what people are watching.
Yeah.
So if you were going to spend money on doing 3 music videos, spend money on doing 2, still get your singles that you're proud of that are doing your world building, and then spend the remainder of that money doing content for every song. We film it vertical. It's not as exciting as doing like a slick music video because as artists, we love seeing that. And I know that musicians love that as well. They
like to feel the hero.
Yeah.
They
love their
vibe.
art being given that world. And like, I get that.
Yeah.
But do that with your 2. And then for your 3rd, think about the amount of marketing content that we can make to market the whole release. And what you'll find sometimes with records is maybe even 1 or 2 of the songs that didn't get a music video and that weren't released as a single, they might become the biggest song.
Yeah.
So at least that way you're giving the other songs, like I said, a chance to become someone's favorite song.
Yeah.
And
I like that. I really like that.
Yeah, it's nice. And I've been suggesting that to artists, and a lot of artists have taken me up on it. We're doing a lot of bands now of all different sizes and genres that are doing that approach. They're doing 1 or 2 music videos and then doing a full content day. I don't love the vertical content idea as much because it doesn't speak to me as a filmmaker or an artist as much, but I do try to find ways to make it exciting for me.
But you understand that it's redirecting people back to the other formats that you enjoy and fulfill you as well.
That's right. And like, if that artist grows, I grow with them. So if those releases do really well, those singles do really well, they get a lot of views, they get a lot of streams, the label kind of sees that. Like you say, we're redirecting with our short form back to those, all of that marketing. It's sort of this big circle that release does really well. That artist is going to level up on their next release. They might have more budget. They might be selling more tickets. I level up with them as well. So then like the next time round, Wind Waker is a great example. The band that I mentioned earlier that we did the helicopter and that stuff for, I shot one of their really early music videos many, many years ago, and we had no money and we did it in a shed with nothing. And now they're producing money, and they've signed to a big record label. They're doing big tours. They're in Europe. They're in the USA. They sort of come back around and they're like, we want to do a sick music video. So, you know, as the artists that I work with level up, I level up as well. And it gives me access to make cooler, more exciting visuals because we have more money to do so. So yeah, it's definitely like a lot of these bands, artists, I've grown with them over that 9-year period. You know, we're up to filming like 5 or 6 or 7 music videos with some artists. So it's like we've built this relationship, we've built this world together, and it's nice.
How do you navigate that when bands want to change direction? Because, you know, some bands will hit that kind of 5-year mark and then they'll decide they want to do something very different. Yeah, so that would be a fun kind of creative challenge, because they might want to change the aesthetic, they might want to change the direction they're going in, the type of music. Yeah. How do you navigate that?
It's exciting. Like we navigate it together. Like it's exciting finding new ways to showcase music. Like if we've done like metal bands that started off as traditional metal bands, and then later on we're like, hey, we don't really feel the same way about this. We're doing this now, like we're doing rap, or we're doing hip hop, or we're doing EDM. Maybe we're doing you know, a lot of stuff that I'm seeing now coming in. There's a lot of like EDM and like dance and like electronics and stuff coming in, and it doesn't a lot of it doesn't really sound like metal music anymore. How can we showcase that? It's a conversation.
How do you navigate that? Because like EDM is much harder to show as like a performance piece.
It's all vibes. It's all vibes and aesthetics. So, for example, if you send me a song that sounds like Darude Sandstorm mixed with metal, that screams 90s to me, because it screams like video hits or rage or MTV or something like that. So immediately I'm like, okay, well this has like some 90s trance kind of stuff coming in. How can we tap into that and mix it with, you know, the metal stuff? What's the pathway here? And then, you know, we'll do a mood board, or we'll do a treatment, or we'll look at references and just build our...
What kind of references do you use? Do you use Shot Deck or anything like that? Or you've just built such a good portfolio that you just look at your own stuff?
No, not at all. Not at all. Just because I guess over the time have consumed a lot of music content, I'll sort of think and be like, Come to Daddy, Apex Twin, like that's a great reference for like 90s EDM. And mixed with metal, because it's like scary, but it's like EDM music. It has like that distinct 90s aesthetic, and I'm like, cool, what can we pull from this? What can we be influenced by here? But I think the best way to be influenced by things is you leave yourself open to be influenced by a lot of different things, because you can't just
outside of your genre too.
From anywhere. Like you don't just want to go, oh well, we like this video, so let's just copy it, because that kind of sucks, and you'll get pinged. Like someone will go, oh hey, you know, this is that. But if you kind of go, all right, well, we love this as our core, this is our hero, you know, what else is there from that same period that is adjacent that we can also leave ourselves open to be influenced by? And then, you know, you pull you know, shots, like images, you pull a lot of like outfits and like styling and stuff like that, lighting setups, and you'll put them into, I don't know if you saw the other day, I was talking on story, a band sent me one recently where they had done their whole treatment, and it was amazing, and they used an app called Millernote.
I use Millernote.
That was great. They had sort of like their lyrics Then they had the song meaning. They had the music videos that they liked, like stuff that they liked, and they'd written down what they liked about those music videos.
That's so good.
And then they'd sort of written like their key moments that they wanted to hit. Like these are our absolutes. We want this burning bouquet of flowers. We want these are our absolutes here. We want this guy lying on the floor. We want this all these wild things. And then they sort of like came back and they're like, how do you feel about this? And I was like, this is so great. Like really understanding what you want going into a product is going to yield a better result. Whereas if you sort of like come to me and you're like, we don't know what we want and we don't really care what we get back, typically I probably wouldn't work with an artist like that.
I think most people probably avoid those type of clients in general.
Yeah.
Because also the expectation is way higher. They expect you to just do everything.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because those sort of artists, when no matter what you deliver them, they won't be happy because they haven't
they've had no input.
They've had no understanding of like what they were after. So it's hard for someone to give you something and you like it when you don't even know what you actually wanted from the experience. So I always think it's a good idea for artists to like, no one's going to know their music better than them.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think, but I was really impressed by this treatment this band gave me. I was like, I wish that every artist gave me something like this. This would be great.
Yeah. What's the turnaround like? Usually, like from start to finish, from previs to it's edited and released. How long does that usually take?
It's edited and released. That's just changes.
Yeah.
Like, dude, some bands will, they'll get their music video and release it a year later. Like that's sort of all dependent on like release schedules, labels, touring. There's so much that goes into that I don't really have too much to do with.
Okay. Yeah.
So on my end, from previous, usually we'll take bookings that are probably at least a month. Usually 2 months in advance, because that's just kind of how my booking window works these days.
Yeah.
So let's say, 2 months in advance, we'll have like a phone call, we'll find a date, and then we'll do our previs, we'll do our treatments, we'll do our mood board, shot listing, whatever we need to do inside of that time. The shoot date. Now, if you had asked me that like 12 months ago, my turnaround time was like 6 to 8 weeks for the delivery of the edit.
Yeah.
This year I'm trying to change that.
Okay.
Because what ended up happening was I would have this huge backlog of edits and I just felt married to my computer. Yeah. Like I just felt locked in. So I'd have at any one time I'd be cooking 10 different edits.
Ooh.
Yeah. And
that's rough.
Yeah. It sort of, it didn't allow me to be as creative, and it just didn't feel good on my mental health, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel good to have that amount
just like hanging over you.
Yeah. Just weighing me down. So this year, I cleaned up all my edits. I went on a Japan trip recently, end of last year. And I kind of said to myself, I'm not taking on as much work this year, being 2026. And any work that I do take on, I'm going to allow myself adequate time to edit it and deliver it to the customer before I kind of like start my next thing.
Yeah.
So that 8-week time has turned around a lot. Like some of these clips, like we're shooting and then I'm spending the next week editing them.
Yeah, wow.
And that's felt really good because...
Do you find that because it's fresh and you remember everything that happened on set and you're like, oh, sweet, that clip's got to go here because I remember this happened. And yeah.
And I'm also excited about it.
Yeah.
Like it makes me excited to... if we do a really good shoot, and I'm like, I still get excited. We've shot so many clips, but I still feel that feeling of like that. Oh, that shot was so good. I can't wait to get home and like look at it, and color grade it, and poke around with it. Like that exciting feeling. I still get that, and that's why I still love this job, because I can't wait to get it on the computer and start messing with it.
Yeah.
So. And it's good, shooting the clip, it is fresh in your mind. I'm excited about the shots. I'm still, kind of like pumped up from the shoot. So being able to like organize all of those shots and look at them and go, oh yeah, I know that we've made a good one. It feels good to be able to do that. I don't have to break my concentration and be like, oh, I've got like 5 edits.
And then you're going back to a different project that's very different maybe.
Yeah. So that's definitely a real thing. And I mean, what is it now? March going into April, and it's been pretty successful. Like
All right,
so far so good. Talk to me in 6 months, but so far so good. It's working.
Yeah. How are you balancing that work life? Because you said like it was taking a bit of a toll.
Yeah, it was funny because Sony got me to do a talk on work-life balance.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I brought it up just a little bit.
At Scenescape, which I thought I was an interesting choice to pick for that.
You're like, I just work.
I think it was because I have a young family.
Yeah.
But it is, this year, it's going really well. Last year was like probably the biggest year of business that we'd ever had.
Yeah.
And we shot an enormous amount of work and jobs, delivered an enormous amount.
When you say we, what's the team?
When I say we, I'm referring to me and my wife.
Yep.
She doesn't shoot, but she does a lot of editing. She doesn't edit a lot of the music videos. We have kind of like a wedding business as well. So we actually do shoot and edit weddings. She edits all of the weddings.
Yeah, sick.
And she does like weddings for like a lot of different wedding studios from around Australia. That's kind of like her side hustle, but she's still involved in, you know, what we do with the music stuff.
Yeah.
And if I'm kind of, you know, under the pump and I need someone to like kind of even just like run through and do cuts for me and cut out all the fat, and I can do the creative edits later, she can just kind of jump in and like sub in.
That's awesome.
So yeah, when I say we, I'm talking about me and her.
Yeah.
And maybe my kid as well. Is he part of the team? Yeah,
as well.
He's 2. He's gonna need to learn.
Will be.
He's gonna need to learn After Effects soon. I've told him. I'm like, brother, you need to
got to get them on that early.
You got to learn After Effects, or you need to start paying rent. It's like, which ones are gonna be? Like,
yeah.
But yeah. Sorry, where were we? The work-life balance thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going better. It's at a better place than what it was because I'm a dad now. My kid's 2. And I want to spend time with him. I want to hang with him.
And these kind of big creative projects, you have to sink a lot of energy into them. It's not show up for a corporate shoot an interview, go home. It's you're sinking so much time and like creative energy, but like emotional energy. Like you're sinking a lot more into them. Yeah,
and I'm an obsessive kind of guy. Like I'm obsessive on the details. I obsess on the details. I'd argue that Ten of Swords it is all details. Everything that we do in the music videos, everything is a detail. That's what it is made up of. So I hyper focus all of those moments. But yeah, the work-life thing is definitely off to a better start this year. We have heaps more time for family, and it doesn't feel like I am taking on less projects. It feels maybe I'm picking the right projects now.
Yeah, and that's a much better position to be in. Yeah, I'm not getting burnt out on projects that maybe don't align with my creative vision or like my workflow. Because like I said, you know, we talked a little bit on workflow, but also I mentioned earlier, like my workflow is messy. Like my brain is messy. Yeah.
I don't think it's like straight. I don't really know.
Linear.
It's not linear. And I've tried to make it linear, but it doesn't work. And I feel like the place that I reach my art or the best art that I create is through a messy workflow. Through a messy timeline. People hate my timelines because they're messy.
Drop a screenshot of a timeline.
Yeah, that's it. Like, but that is how I find my art, and that's how I found my creative voice is through the mess. So yeah, and that spills over into every aspect of my life, especially like workflow. But hey,
you mentioned After Effects. Are you using After Effects a lot for your work?
I wouldn't say a lot, but it's in every project.
Yeah, okay.
Like there is an amount of After Effects that is in every project.
I haven't even gone down that rabbit hole. I've been avoiding it for as long as I can.
After Effects, I mean, you can kind of do everything in Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
But there is definitely a few like effects plugins and like different intricate things that After Effects can do that it just does better.
Yeah. Okay.
Or it's like more full featured in After Effects than what it might be in like Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely in every project.
Okay.
There'll be like little bits and pieces of it.
They're hidden in there.
Yeah, little bits and pieces everywhere.
Yeah. What's your most ambitious project?
Do you mean like the biggest project I've done?
Yeah.
There's so many, man.
Yeah, because like there's a difference between obviously like the scale of the project, but then also something like really ambitious, like from a filmmaking side, like trying to put the camera somewhere where like no one's put a camera before, or like trying to do like a one shot and everything has to be squeezed in and choreographed like perfectly and things like that. Because there's obviously a difference between anyone could just scale the size up.
Yeah.
But like, what's something that like
man,
too many to name?
There's so many that spring to mind, but I think that Wind Waker one that I mentioned earlier is we were strapping cameras to helicopters.
Yeah.
We had the helicopter orbiting in place above the band that was performing, and then we had a drone that was orbiting the helicopter, which couldn't get caught in the updraft of the rotors, so it had to stay at a certain distance. An FPV drone, mind you.
Okay.
Whilst the artist was in the helicopter performing, we had a ground crew filming from the ground at the artist performing, the band, the drone. There's a lot of moving pieces there.
Yeah, that's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah, I would say that would be up there with like the most ambitious in terms of like moving parts. Another one we did, here's a good one for you.
There was one that looked like an apartment and that you're like, oh no, we built that whole thing. And I was like, what?
Okay, yeah, that could be. So that particular project, that was called Roach Queen. That was for a band called Future Static. We built the apartment, and then what we actually did was we bought 1,000 cockroaches and we had like the lead singer of the band. She was sitting on this kind of throne. She was like this scary kind of character or whatever. And we had cockroaches crawling all over her body. We had like thousands of cockroaches crawling through like a doll's house, crawling through this apartment.
Yeah, cool.
Kind of gross.
Can you expense that? Like when you submit to the ATO, you're like, I had to buy 1,000 cockroaches.
Well, yeah. I mean, anything that I buy for a prop is I write down. But the cockroaches ended up going to someone after we'd finished with them. We caught them. I want to say that we vacuumed them up. I don't know if that's cruel, but then they were donated to someone that had lizards and
okay.
Yeah, so they weren't just thrown in the trash.
Yeah, good. That's good.
They went on to feed the lizards.
Back into the cycle.
But like, there's so many like projects like that, man, that are just like hundreds of projects that are like that are just ridiculous. That we've done.
That's so ridiculous.
Ridiculous things.
Yeah.
We blew up a car like not that long ago which was pretty wild. We bought like a car body. We had to pull all of the explosive stuff out of it. So like all of the hydraulics, the engine, just everything, like the shocks, anything that has pressure in it. So this was done on a mechanic. Local fire brigade came. We filmed all that stuff. We loaded it with like timber because the fire brigade were like, this is only going to burn for like 20 minutes. Yeah. We're like, okay, cool. But so we loaded it with timber in an attempt to get it to burn for longer. We got it to burn for about an hour, but even then, that was like kind of ambitious, I suppose.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of projects that are like at that kind of level that we've done some outlandish stuff for visuals. I can't even think off the top of my head.
Yeah, when you think of like the videos that have like the heavier stuff, I feel like that's part of the genre as well. It's got to be something that's like not necessarily shocking, but it's got to be kind of something that's like, that's sick.
It's eye candy as well.
Yeah,
like it's all kind of like eye candy. The thing that I love to do with the videos is any setup that I'm doing, I want it to be able to be like a screen grab or a screenshot that I'm happy with. Yeah. So how I'm setting up my lighting or how I'm setting up my framing, whatever it is, I'm like, every single minute of this video, I want to be able to pull a screen grab from any point in my timeline and it be good.
And it hold up.
Yeah, and it hold up.
Yeah,
so I don't want to have any fluff. I don't want to have anything that doesn't look good or anything that I wouldn't be proud of for someone to screen grab it. If someone paused my video at any point and that was what was on a screen somewhere.
Screenshot.
Yeah. So it's really important, and that's kind of how I do the music videos is I'm like,
helps you like
can
trim
this
the
be a
fat,
thumbnail?
That also helps you compositions and everything, right?
Yeah. Like I always just look at a shot and I'm like, would I be happy with this being a thumbnail?
Yeah.
And that's...
Well, if you've got a whole video of thumbnails, that's pretty good.
I'm trying to maintain a level of quality here.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good and like a healthy way to approach your work.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like, does the clip hold up overall, or does it like, is every moment in that clip necessary?
Yeah. And like, there's also... Necessary is a different word because like you can have a good cinematic image and be like, "Ooh, I like this," but necessary, I think, takes it to a different place.
Okay.
Necessary is like, is any of it necessary?
Yeah,
probably not.
Probably not.
It's like, is this helicopter necessary? Is like, are these moments necessary? I think that takes it to a different. If you're doing a
necessary
story,
for the edit, I meant.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. What's coming up for you, 2026?
Yeah, we've got some big ones coming up.
You said you're taking on like 2 to 3 big ones, like big ones.
Yeah, they sort of like come around. Like we've got one big one coming up. In a couple of weeks. Can't talk too much about it.
That's fair.
Big artist, big Australian artist. So that's going to be an exciting one.
Yeah.
Spending a bit of money, doing some cool stuff, interesting music. So I'm looking forward to that one. But yeah, I mean, we've got bookings right up until June. All level of artists. Like we work with, we'll work with new bands, but we'll also work with bigger established artists as well.
What are you rocking for most of these videos?
FX6 is my main.
Yeah.
So that's my main camera, but I'll usually bring smaller bodies as well. So I still use an A7S III for my gimbal cam. I know everyone sort of uses the FX cameras, but I actually like shooting when I'm not running that on the gimbal. I actually like shooting a lot with the eyepiece. When I do a lot of filming with like smaller bodies, I enjoy doing that. It puts me
You'd probably
in
love
the shot.
The FX2 then. If you haven't had a go yet.
I played with it. I did love it. Yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, I like shooting with eyepieces. Definitely connects me more to the image, connects me more to the movement.
Okay.
And I just enjoy that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, FX6 main, I usually travel with a couple of A7S3s, and we've also got like an FX30 that I use for I have like some, if I got like wild lenses, like I got a lot of like bizarre crop sensor lenses.
Yeah, like the weird and wacky ones.
Yeah. So if I don't have like full frame lenses, or I'm trying to do some of like the B series, like the ultra zoom, like parfocal zooms that are like 12 to 600, snap zooms and things like that. They're all
because
like,
nearly all of those are super 35.
Yeah, and smaller. I think they're small. So the FX30 is good for any wacky like old lenses that I'm adapting to, because they're usually not full frame.
Yeah.
But usually that's kind of the kit. I've got some other bodies as well. I've got an A7C that sometimes comes that I'll give to like someone for like BTS.
Yep.
People say, what's the first thing I want to make music videos like you. What's the first? And I'm like, buy a 120 centimeter softbox. It's so boring.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, that is probably the single biggest upgrade to any setup that you will ever do. But I know it's not exciting. So they want you to say you absolutely need this camera or this lens to make it good.
Yeah.
And being that we're on a Sony podcast, you absolutely need an FX6 to make it good.
but it's true, like you said earlier, like any reasonably priced body with like even an okay lens, you're going to get amazing results. But like,
it's
pre-production, good shot list, and like a good brief and good lighting, that will always trump.
Definitely. You know what also...
anything from the technical side.
On top of that, you know what trumps all of those things is having your own creative voice. And that is literally the first thing that you should be like hunting for and striving for, is finding your creative voice and finding your style. Because I have seen music videos shot with zero lighting that are amazing.
Yeah.
I've seen music videos shot with little dad cams, little handy dad cams that are amazing.
Yeah.
And that all just comes down to like creative ideation and like direction and someone's brain.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it comes down to someone's brain that has had this clever idea or just has an amazing ability to tell stories, or style, just an amazing like lock on a particular style that they've kind of wanted to dial into, and that can be the hook. That can hook you immediately. So, and I think I said this at the Sony workshop that we were doing, and I've said this a few times in a couple of workshops that I've done, is like finding your creative voice, I think, is the single most important thing that you'll ever kind of, that's the biggest journey I think that you'll ever kind of go on. So
yeah, and it ties in with like your creative idea has to also serve the narrative or serve the brief as well, because you see it a lot with, like, I know I did it when I was like student filmmaker, and it's like you do a cool shot because the shot's cool, not because it's relevant to what you're doing.
Right.
And you notice that like in an edit when if a particular shot you're like, oh, that's sick, we'll do vortex where the camera turns upside down, and it's like, but why is it in there? You know what I mean? As opposed to like there needs to be like a reason. It's got to serve the narrative, serve the brief, serve the artist.
I think it's interesting like what you mentioned with music videos, because music videos are kind of like these outliers to film. Yeah. And you kind of get the ability to do weird stuff with music videos that, you might not be able to find a reason to put that in a film. Yeah. You might not be able to find a reason to put that in if you're filming like a TVC or a commercial, or if you're filming a real estate project or a wedding, or, all these sort of different things that we film. You might not find a reason, but in a music video, you can almost absolutely find a reason to do that shot.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what
I haven't filmed enough music videos then.
Maybe. But like, I think with music videos, you can get experimental, like for the sake of being experimental.
Yeah.
And that can be like your hook. And I think that's why I love them, because, saying before that, I'm super messy with like how I think about my sort of creative approach. That combined with music videos and the experimental nature of them does get some pretty wild results, I suppose, and some pretty like bizarre results. So I do think that like music videos are a bit of like a playground for, creative energy and kind of the wacky and the weird and
for visual expression.
Yeah, visual expression. So I mean, music itself is expression. So I feel like music videos should follow suit and be very expressive as well.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that like when you listen to a track, you're already like formulating some kind of visual in your head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you do that with every song you listen to now?
Dude, everything, man. Everything. And when I'm on set as well, like I was saying this to someone the other day, when I get to set, I've already run that song and I know what the edit looks like. So if I'm rocking up to film, your band or whoever's band that I'm kind of with, I can already see the edit. Like I already know what the video looks like for me. I'm just like collecting shots at that point. Yeah. And that's why I'll always have like a little chicken scratch, like shot list of like everything that I got to get that's looks like it's written in like hieroglyphics or something, because only my brain will be able to process like what is actually written down here.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time those are more like little cues to like cue my brain to go, oh yeah, boom, need this little shot. Like, so, but that doesn't mean that I don't see other things on set and be like, oh, I've just seen this moment as it is unfolding in front of me. We need to like take 5 and we need to capture this right now because, this is something new. And sometimes those moments make your whole project as well.
All right. So that probably brings us to the end. Do you want to do a quick plug for Ten of Swords? And if people want to see your work, where can they find you?
Yeah, sure. Ten of Swords, plug. Is that enough?
Yeah. So it's just at Colin Jeffs.
Yeah, at Colin_Jeffs or at Ten of Swords Media.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're my handles, but we're around. We're around. Put it
Sweet.
Link in the description, something like that.
Yeah, that always works.
We're around.
All right. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks so much.
It's been awesome to catch up.
This has been cool.
Yeah, it's been sweet.
Cheers for having me. Good. This is a good one.
This is a great one. All right. That's been another episode of the Full Frame Podcast presented by Sony. See you next week.